panel of today, Urban Initiatives and Sustainable Future Benefits from Partnerships. And I would just like to introduce our dear friend, the moderator of this panel, Christina Thomason. Christina worked as director of the European College at the University in Tartu. And among many other tasks, she is also a member of the board at the Science and Liberal Arts Foundation, Domus Dorpatensis in Tartu, which is a wonderful social enterprise from Estonia. Christina is also the chair of the board at the Estonian National Foundation of Civil Society. Christina, the floor is yours. You are the taskmaster for a bit less than 1.5 hours.
Thank you, Eva. And good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear social entrepreneurs. Is microphone on? Yes, I think. The ones who support social entrepreneurship and the ones who one day would like to become social entrepreneur. My role today is to be moderator of these great 4 speeches we will hear right away. And as Eva told about me, I am a member of the board of one social enterprise in Estonia that is called Science and Liberal Arts Foundation, Domus Dorpatensis. And currently we are just planning to implement, or let's say we are trying to implement a 3-stage project that is called Social Entrepreneurship Incubator. And just recently we had a social entrepreneurship weekend for startups, and we hope that in 2 years we can show some success stories. Or it might be also the case as this famous quotation from a neighbor country from Russian Prime Minister once: we wanted the best, but the outcome was as always. So let's see if in 2 years I can say that we have actually done something and succeeded, or we actually didn't succeed so much. But anyway, as Eva told, the title of today's next session is Urban Initiatives and Sustainable Future Benefits from Partnerships. And basically we concentrate on 6 issues or keywords represented already in titles. That is, first, urban context; second, initiatives; third, sustainability; fourth, future; fifth, benefits; and last but not least, partnerships. And since I'm coming from academia, and just to remind you what one of these key words means, and that's the key word sustainability. It's rather confusing. And the people coming from academia, we all know how much we like when students citate Wikipedia, because it's the only reliable, acceptable, and valid resource of information, right? And according to Wikipedia, sustainability means capacity to endure. And according to Webster, the word endure means to continue to exist in the same state or condition, or to experience pain and suffering for a long time. So our next 4 speakers will talk about their experience, how to create this great sustainable future. And the schedule of next, let's say, 70 minutes will look as following. Before each presentation, I will shortly introduce each presenters, and after 4 presentations, I will shortly give the chance to them to reflect upon each other, and then I will right away give the floor to yours for your questions and comments. And the first speaker is our friend Phil Tulba, and I would say that when you had time to look at his bio, then he's basically the person who could be characterized by all great words like entrepreneur, presenter, consultant, trainer, director, vice chairman, advisor, athlete. So almost nothing is missing. And when we consider in politics state that international cooperation is already when one Estonian, one Latvian, and one Lithuanian will meet, then his range or kind of broad is much broader. He's covering Europe, Africa, and Asia. And just one interesting fact, do you know how many sisters and brothers did he have? Does he have? Yes. No. 21. It's almost as the whole my country, counting all the people. So you can imagine how much social network and social capital he has. And he has been taking part of one event that I assume none of us has ever taken part. And the question, any guess at which event he managed to take part? Maybe some of us have, but not me, at least. No. Almost, but maybe even better. No, not yet, but probably with his abilities he will do it. Almost, yes. He has been taking part in world championships. So basically, I would say if Friedrich Nietzsche would have lived nowadays, or Phil would have lived during his time, then the concept of Übermensch would have been developed based on him. So Phil, please, floor is yours, and tell the great stories you have succeeded and how.
Wow. Thank you very much, Christina, for that introduction. So how to live up to that? I think I have some explaining to do. Well, my father might have some explaining to do. He actually has he's got 21 children, of which I'm number 19. I like to joke to people that I have a tattoo, but and some people go, really? But no, I don't have a tattoo saying I'm number 19. But yes, I have to say he doesn't have 21 children with one woman. He has been married quite a few times, although he has got 13 children with his first wife, and somehow they are still together, but please, let's not go into that. That's something for the coffee break. The World Championships, in a past life I was an athlete, a middle-distance runner, so I've been fortunate to compete internationally as an athlete. And when I was thinking about my career, what I wanted to do as an athlete was to travel the world, to see the world, meet new people, and to do it with something that I was passionate about and I believed in. When my athletics career started to wind up, I didn't make much of an income from it. I thought, well, okay, what am I going to do? So I decided that I'd find something else that would enable me to travel the world and to meet incredible people like yourselves and to also follow my passion, which is social entrepreneurship. So I've got 15 minutes or so that I'm going to talk briefly about how social enterprises can become catalysts for urban regeneration. I have a little confession to make. I'm not actually an expert in regeneration, but what I do know is how social enterprises can contribute to certain aspects around social and economic regeneration in communities. And I'm going to talk in general terms around a few points, around the concepts, but then also I'm going to talk specifically about a case study that I've been closely involved with for coming up to 10 years. This is it started out as a community project. An individual was affected by a pretty serious incident, and she thought that she was going to do something for the benefit of her community. That's where the idea started. And over a period of time, through partnerships, innovative models, a creative approach to realising this vision, we now have a situation in a former deprived community in the East Middle of England where we now have a thriving social enterprise that employs 28 people, generates nearly £1 million worth of income a year, and has had over 60,000 visitors, some of which are international, come just in 1 year alone. And actually this year we're forecast for 70,000 visitors. Just a bit of an introduction to the presentation that I'm going to talk you through. I'm going to talk about the role of social enterprise in regeneration. I'm going to talk about some general trends around sort of urban initiatives, things like urban farms, food cooperatives, and also just perhaps explore in a little bit more detail some of the kind of key concepts around this area. Concepts, keywords, definitions, descriptions. You've been exposed to a lot already. You will be exposed to more moving forward in the future. And also I'm just going to talk about some of these lessons learned in my practical experience of being involved with a social enterprise that was very much grounded in the community. I'm going to offer up as best as I can some suggestions for you. And then also I've just got a short little video to show you, only about 3.5 minutes, which really encapsulates what this particular social enterprise I'm going to talk to you about. It really kind of catches the essence of what it is, what it does, and what it can do. So what it's tried to achieve and how it's got there. I've talked about keywords and concepts. Here are some for you. It's an ongoing list that you can continue and add to. I will refer to some of them throughout my presentation. When I'm talking about the kind of role of social enterprise in regeneration, I think the obvious things that people will think about, of course, are jobs, job creation, providing jobs for particular groups and for society. There's also something in there as well around skills development and training, workplace schemes, work integration schemes, those kinds of things. But then there are also some other things that perhaps might not be apparent for some people, which is perhaps about providing services for marginalised communities. You know, in the UK, historically, there's been a sort of discussion, or there's been an understanding that social enterprise can step in where there has been market failure. So that can be around housing, for example, or providing financial services to unbankable communities or individuals. Interestingly, in the UK, where there's a massive debate at the moment about what we call everyday sort of short-term loans. And there's these sort of multinational companies whose business model is very aggressive. They have fantastic advertising budgets, and they're on television, and they are charging very, very, very high rates of interest to people that can barely afford to pay this money. Other things that social enterprise is also involved in are sort of this enabling kind of local democratic engagement for communities. I think we have a social work here. There may be some community development workers. I think you'd recognise that that's certainly very important for local communities. As is participation in decision-making and also social and economic inclusion. People talk about inclusion in general terms, and they talk about social inclusion, bringing people in that are socially isolated into the picture, perhaps to access mainstream services. But also there's the economic inclusion. So there is actually providing income for individuals that do not participate in the mainstream economy. You know, we've talked about sort of urban regeneration in its broad context. If you go online and look it up, whether it's on Wikipedia or Webster's, what you'll see is the definitions are mainly centred, I've got it here, rehabilitation of neighbourhoods by large-scale renovation and reconstruction of housing and public works. So what this is about infrastructure. It's about buildings and it's about land. This is kind of a traditional view, if you like, of urban regeneration. But there has been a shift to more sort of social and economic regeneration. So this is the job creation, this is the employment development, this is the skills development and the integration schemes. But also there is the stuff around social engagement and involving people in communities. And there's also the wider, and more recently, a development around participation, empowerment, and ownership of assets and the decision-making process. And that's something that we've seen in the UK quite recently. In terms of some of the general trends, the traditional model, the traditional framework was sort of about mass employment creation. The case study that I will talk to you about is based in a former steel community. The 60,000 people, there were steel factories there, and the majority of the people were involved one way or another in the steel industry, whether it's production of the actual steel itself from iron ore into making bearings and wire and cabling and gears and those kinds of things. Virtually overnight, that mass employer form of employment disappeared, and that town went into a term of decline. Then what replaced that was another form of mass employment, but in this example, it was warehousing, distribution, packing, very low-skilled, labour-intensive activities. In the recent economic climate, that's had a massive impact as well. So you're kind of replacing one form of mass employment scheme with another form of mass employment scheme. And these kind of traditional models, certainly more recently, has been driven sort of by this idea of trying to cheap finance. The speaker this morning talked very much about that, the UK being very much a centre of cheap finance. But also there was this expectation that land prices will always continue to rise, so that you can base your kind of urban regeneration policies on cheap finance, building stuff, creating lots of jobs, and the fact that land prices and property prices will always continue. And also retail has also been a big part of this, the kind of consumer economy. And that's a big part of the UK kind of regeneration strategies that you often see, where they decide they're going to regenerate a particular town or a part of a community, and they put in a big shopping centre with cinemas and bowling alleys, and that's very much the traditional kind of model. But there is a shift now to kind of more socially just, more socially inclusive activities, and also sustainable activities. And when I talk about sustainability, I'm not necessarily talking about environmental sustainability. I'm also talking about financial sustainability, sustainability of communities, resilience, those kinds of things. And social enterprises are very good at delivering those kinds of benefits and outcomes to society. You know, in many cases, they kind of act as beacons, you know, as community anchors that can help communities become more resilient and robust in these very difficult times that we're facing. We're also seeing local initiatives in the form of urban farms, food cooperatives, sort of recycling businesses, community recycling schemes. And in the UK, there's a big movement around community asset transfer. So again, this was touched upon in the first speaker's presentation, around communities owning assets. That empowers them, that enables them to leverage that asset, to sweat that asset for their own benefit. And then more recently, around commissioning and procurement, this idea of sort of social clauses. More recently, we have had the Social Value Act. So these are public servants who are commissioning services having to think about what added value these social enterprises will provide. Because ultimately, from a regenerative point of view, that benefits social enterprises and the people that they work with. I think in a preferential purchasing and social cooperatives is an example in Italy. Just moving on to kind of the stakeholders and partnerships, which is kind of brings me a little bit towards how we at the social enterprises that I've been involved with, this is called Adrenaline Alley, have worked very hard to work with the local community and local stakeholders. And it was very much about how do we make a transition from a vision which is about using urban sports to improve the lives of young people to ultimately what is a business that's going to employ 30 people and generate revenues, employ people locally. And the idea was that, you know, we did stakeholder mapping. Very early on, we thought, who are our stakeholders? What are they? We defined our stakeholders. These were people that we directly or indirectly affected, and then in reverse, who also directly or indirectly affected us. So a very kind of general kind of definition. But also, we wanted to bring them quite close to us, especially the key stakeholders. So we went through some very detailed stakeholder mapping. Who are the people that we wanted to talk to? How are we going to talk to them? We expressed our vision very clearly to them. We talked to them about our values as an organisation. There's also this kind of shift from paternalism to partner. So from, you know, local authorities, municipalities, being paternalistic, providing services to you as citizens, to actually partnering. And this was part of the shift that we saw in certainly the 10 years that I've been involved with Adrenaline Alley, from the local authority saying, no, you can't do this, we are best placed to deliver this, to let's work with you, let's partner with you, we see the value in what you're trying to do. And we were able to do this through aligning our values, but also aligning our priorities. There was an overlap, if you like, a synergy between what we're trying to achieve. And then, you know, I talk about from commissioning of services, there is this kind of co-production sort of approach in the UK where the whole system's been turned on its head and that actually that citizens are then asked to co-produce and also co-deliver some of these services. This isn't something that we've been directly involved with at Adrenaline Alley, but what we have been involved in is an organisation that when I first met the founder had 80% of its income was grants, donations, and only 20% was income, to a situation where now the social enterprise is operationally sustainable. All of its income pays for its trading costs. And we have some grants, but they're very, very small. And we were able to do that in part because the local municipality went from being a grant giver to an investor in the organisation. They saw the value and we were trying to create. In terms of talking about communities and assets, one of the things we did do was also community asset mapping. We looked at the community around us and we said, what assets and capabilities already exist in this community? Corby, as a former steel town, had a very bad reputation. It was deprived, it wasn't very well regarded. So we looked around to find people that had assets. What can you do and what can we do for you? And we worked very closely with these individuals to mobilise a whole range of capital, you know, social capital as well as human capital, the resources that these individuals had, as well as financial capital through the loans that we were securing from the local authority. I'm just going to talk you very quickly through Adrenaline Alley. Here's the vision. using urban sports to improve the lives of young people. The mission is, there's 3 elements to it. It's about putting a deprived community on the map. Corby in the UK had a very, very bad reputation, so it was about creating a sense of pride for local young people. It was also about becoming a leader in urban sports provision, so creating a world-class centre and a facility, and also about becoming sustainable as a social enterprise. So our mission, if you like, is really due for revision 10 years on. And we have some values here for the organisation, which are really very core to who we are as an organisation. And we go to great lengths to explain these to everybody that engages with the organisation. The stakeholders, these are our funders, our beneficiaries, the people that walk through the door, board members, our employees. So this is very important to us as an organisation. When I first met the founder back in 2002, 2003, this was just an outdoor project. There really wasn't much going on. This building became available, and very quickly we were able to convert it into this facility here with foam pits for BMX training and skateboard training, indoor sections, a bowl section here for riders and skaters, some people here doing what they do best. We also do a lot of outreach and community work with disability groups in the local community. And they come in and use our facility on a very regular basis. This chap here on the right-hand side, he's the leading exponent of para-extreme wheelchair motocross. So he does backflips in wheelchairs. It's absolutely incredible to see. Very quickly, just some facts and figures. We employ nearly 30 people. Most of our visitors and participation comes from outside of the region. People travel 2-3 hours to come to our facility. Very interesting chart for you. Here's our participation figures, which is a little bit out of date. Last year we did 60,000 visitors. This year we're forecasting 70,000 visitors. So you can see a very clear trend line, which is on an upward direction. Just some other little views for you. This combined area is 2.4 hectares, and we have over 5,000 square metres of BMX and skate park. And just some quick drawings. This facility now has been completed as of September. So this makes Adrenalina the largest urban sports facility in Europe. We have professionals coming from the United States, from Europe, coming to live and train in Corby, of all places, to develop their skills and capabilities. What I would say to you involved in social enterprises and thinking particularly around urban regeneration is think big. Have that big vision. That was the vision that Mandy, the founder, had. Think big, but act small, in my view. Start something. Get something off the ground. Share your vision with as many people as you can. Talk to as many people. Knock on as many doors as you can. People will think you are crazy to try to do some of these things. Just keep knocking, because eventually you're going to find some people that think, actually, I think you've got something there and I'm prepared to back you. That's some of the things I would recommend. And I've just got, quickly, if I may, just a video. It's about 3 minutes long, which will just give you a bit of a taste of really what the value and ethos of Adrenalina is about. And that will be the end of my presentation.
Adrenalina was born out of one night of antisocial behaviour. My son was targeted by some local thugs who decided that because he had a skateboard, they were going to beat him up. The kid said to me, it's not just skateboarders, it's the BMXers, it's the inliners. Because they haven't got any facilities to go to, they're driven onto places where they shouldn't be.
Adrenalina has been a massive success in the local community. It started off as a small project and it's worked its way up, and the amount of people and kids that have actually been involved has been massive.
My son was diagnosed with a brain tumour. He was in a wheelchair. He had a lot of emotional trauma. We didn't have choices of where he wanted to go in the things that he was passionate about. So when the lottery funding became available, we thought this is our chance to start including some more disabled participants.
I've been coming ever since the place opened. I support him all the time. I love skateboarding because it gives me ambition to try new things.
Peter's ill with 2 or 3 different things. When he skates, he calms down, he's happier. He's got people to mix with and to talk to, friends. He wouldn't cope without being in a position to come skating. The skate park is his life.
John passed away in September 2010. The difficulties that he had in his life, so much good has come. It's my way of kind of saying to John, I've done everything I can. I did everything the best way I can to bring your passion and what you really wanted and let so many people benefit from your loss.
It's just dangerous to be forgotten. I want to say I'm happy doing it. It's a good thing to do because it's scary, and being scared is sometimes good for the heart because you never go anywhere if you've got no adventure.
So thank you, Phil, for such a great and fascinating story. You were sharing with us how to make people and kids around us happy. And our next speaker knows also the truth, how to make people happy. And considering our panel, then I think EU would be very proud and happy about this panel because we are so balanced. First, we are gender balanced. We have 2 ladies and 2 male. Then we are sector balanced. We have 1 presenter from academia, 1 from municipality, and 2 from NGOs. And last, we are also language balanced, which is we have 2 presenters talking in Latvian and 2 in English. And our next speaker is coming from Sigulda District Council, and she's working as director of the Department of Culture. And for the foreigners who maybe haven't been in Latvia too many times, I would say that this district is called as Latvian Switzerland. And we Estonians are so jealous. How come Latvians have such a great place that we don't have? And we like to go there as often as possible. And it's especially beautiful during autumn time. So when you have spare hours or spare days, I strongly suggest to go there. And she is a lady who is actually working, as I told, in public administration. And since my own background is also public administration, and basically the concept of public administration is how or what and how the state should do in order to make the citizens happy. And I don't know, even after years of studies, but she does. Because she and her municipality has done some very creative and very powerful project, one of which she will talk about ID card that has 200 functions or discount options and how does it work. She will explain later. And one aspect about her that you might know and why you might or why you would like to be her friend. Guess what could be this aspect nowadays? Why she could be special? What's benefits of having friends? I'm sorry? A lot of parties might be as well. Yes. Something going to the right direction. She is one of the few ladies in nowadays emancipated and modern world that is actually doing handicraft and rather often. And she's doing hand-knitted pictures and presenting them to the friends. So if you manage to become the friend of her, you will be one of these lucky ones. So Jolanta Borite, your floor is yours, and we are looking forward to hear great experience of great place of Sigulda.
Labdien! Skan mikrofons. Vakardien jūtot līdz fórumā notiekošajam, klausījos, kā Cēsu mērs teica, ka Cēsīs dzīvo dullie, un viss balstoties uz dulliem, tad mūsu mērs saka, ka Siguldā viss balstās uz trakajiem. Un laikam jau tas ir gauži līdzīgi, un tāpēc arī tas, ko es jums šodien gribu pavēstīt, ir vairāk saistīts tiešām ar to, šie cilvēki, kas dzīvo mūsu pilsētā, Siguldas novadā, par to, ko mēs kopīgi daram, lai tā dzīve būtu labāka. Bet es gribu vispirms pateikt arī ārkārtīgi lielu paldies organizatoriem par to, ka Sigulda ir dot šādu iespēju padalīties pieredzē, un Fīlis, es ļoti priecīgi un iedvesmojusies no tā, ko tu rādīji, jo es absolūti saprotu. Mans mazākais dēls nodarbojas ar BMX freestyle, un tas, ko tu rādīji, es tiešām saprotu, ko viņiem tas nozīmē. Siguldai ir tāda īpašāka situācija, jo mēs dzīvojam telpā, kurā ir iespēja gan elpot, gan dzīvot pavisam savādāk, jo mums ir unikāls kultūra vēsturiskais mantojums, mums ir fantastiska daba, un vēl mums ir arī ārkārtīgi dinamiska pilsēta, kurā turisti vienkārši uz turieni brauc, un mums ir jādomā, ko ar viņiem darīt. Un vēl mums ir tāds brīnišķīgs aspekts, ka mēs no 2008. gada kopā ar Rīgu esam Rīgas vienīgais oficiālais partners Eiropas kultūras galvaspilsētas projektā. Tātad Rīga nākamajā gadā ir Eiropas kultūras galvaspilsēta, un Sigulda ir tās oficiālais partners. Un kas ir tas, ar ko mēs varam pārsteigt, vai kādā veidā mēs varam iesaistīties šajā tech projektā, patiesībā arī ir stāsts par to, kā mēs darām visu iespējamo, lai dzīve Siguldas iedzīvotājiem būtu pēc iespējas labāka. Un bez šaubām tā ir tā kopatbildība, un reiz lasīju vienu definīciju par to, ka ik viens bizness mūsdienās ir arī komunikācija bizness, un to var traktēt ļoti dažādi, bet patiesībā tas svarīgākais, lai mēs varētu šo te dzīvi vērst labāk konkrētās pašvaldības teritorijā dzīvojošiem iedzīvotājiem, tātad domāt arī par ekonomisko labumu, par labklājību, mums ir ar cilvēkiem jārunā. Un tātad patiesībā, lai risinātu viņu problēmas, ir nepieciešams šis dialogs, ir jāuzklaus iedzīvotāji, un tad mūsu kā pašvaldības uzdevums ir profesionāli un gudri to visu arī realizēt. Tātad runa ir par šo politisko atbildību. Un es varbūt arī runājot tīri kā kultūras speciālists, jeb kultūras dzīves organizators, domājot par dažādu pasākumu organizēšanu, liela mēroga pasākumu organizēšanu, arī šajā aspektā mēs varam runāt par tādu kopīgo politisko atbildību, un par to tad es arī jums nedaudz pastāstīšu, bet jau tas, ko Kristīna sākumā minēja, mēs esam vienīgā Latvijas pilsēta, kura realizējusi lojalitātes programmu, tātad mums jau 3. gadu darbojās identifikācijas karte ar nosaukumu Es esmu Siguldietis, kuru saņem ik viens, kurš dzīvo Siguldas novadā, kurš ir deklarējies. Tātad patiesībā šī atbildība arī no iedzīvotāju puses, kad viņi savus nodokļus atdod tai vietai, kur viņi dzīvo. Un mēs no pašvaldības puses tad domājam, kādā veidā attaisnot to, lai iedzīvotāji pie mums deklarētos. Fiziskais pieaugums pēdējos gados arī Siguldā vairojas, tātad arī demogrāfiskais pieaugums, un tas, ka ļoti daudz izvēlas kā dzīves telpu tieši Siguldu, un šī karte patiesībā palīdz saņemt apmēram 200 dažādus pakalpojumus ar atlaidi iedzīvotājiem, kuri dzīvo Siguldas novadā. Vakardien, klausoties vairākos runātājos, es dzirdēju tos terminus par to, kad ir ietekme, iniciatīva, intuīcija, elastība, atbildība, komanda. Tad patiesībā tas mērķis, uzdevums un tas, kādā veidā tā līdzatbildība pārvaldībā, tas tad ir tas kopīgais dialogs. Un šeit ir minēts tikai dažas no tām formām, kādā veidā mēs strādājam ar iedzīvotājiem, tātad veidojot šo dialogu, lai nonāktu pie risinājuma, kā padarīt viņu dzīvi labāku. Un daži piemēri, piemēram, par tādu kopatbildību par telpas attīstību. Mums ir brīnišķīgs kultūra vēsturiskais centrs, tātad Livonijas ordeņa Siguldas pils, jeb Siguldas pilsdrupa estrāde, kur notiek fantastiski mūzikas festivāli. Ir priekšējā daļā ir muižas ēkas, kuras ir vairākus gadus neizmantotas un faktiski jau ir ļoti sliktā fiziskā stāvoklī. Bet mēs domājam, kādā veidā šo teritoriju iedzīvināt. Un tas, kad ir attīstīts, ir rekonstruēts pilsdrupu komplekss, vēl ar to nav viss. Tātad ir vairākas aktivitātes, kādā veidā mēs tuvinām šos iedzīvotājus un veidojam dialogus, lai saprastu, kādā veidā attīstīt šo konkrēto pilsētas teritoriju, kas patiesībā ir interesanta turistiem, jo turisti atbrauc, viņi turp dodās apskatīt, bet viņa nav dzīva priekš novada iedzīvotājiem. Un sadarbībā ar Britu padomu mēs esam rīkojuši 2 nākotnes spēles, lai uzklausītu iedzīvotāju viedokļus. Mēs tiekamies muzikālajās brokastīs vasarā, un tā ir ļoti interesanta forma, kur katru svētdienas rītu 1 stundu skan klasiskā mūzika, un cilvēki ar saviem brokastu groziem nāk un apsēžās pils dārzā zālienā, kopīgi brokasto, kopīgi socializējas, un tai pašā laikā viņi arī klausās brīnišķīgu mūziku un roda iedvesmu ne tikai tai dienai, bet arī ilgākam laikam. Tas ir veids, kādā veidā mēs atvērām šīs ēkas un ļaujot pilsētas iedzīvotājiem šajās telpās ieiet un redzēt, kādā stāvoklī viņas ir, dot impulsu pašvaldības speciālistiem, pieaicinot arī ekspertus Rīgas radošo kvartālu pārstāvus, ieliekot šajās ēkās fantastiskas mākslas iniciatīvas, kas gan ir laikmetīgas, bet tas bija darīts apzināti, lai iedzīvotāji asāk reaģētu, jo laikmetīgā māksla jebkurā gadījumā ir tāda zinām veida provokācija vai izsauc dažādas tās iedzīvotāju reakcijas. Un realizēt ir arī startautisku projektu kopā ar Zviedru māksliniekiem, kopā ar Latvijas māksliniekiem, un šogad 1. gadu mēs atvērām tādu pop-up rezidenci, 1 dienas rezidenci Latvijas dažādu jomu radošām personībām, kad viņi atbrauca un 1 dienu reflektēja šajā teritorijā un aizbrauc, radot vai nu kaut kādus impulsus jaunam mūzikas skaņdarbām, vai savai dzējai, vai mākslas projektam. Nu, lūk, un patiesībā runa tā tad ir par veselu kompleksu, kā viņu atdzīvināt un kā iedzīvināt šīs iedzīvotāju iniciatīvas. Un jau vakardien arī Cēs kolēģi minēja to, kad bija šis kopējais atbalsta finansējums, ko sniedza caur brigādes projektu, laikmetīgās mākslas centrs Soros fonds, tāda sadarbībā ar Siguldas pašvaldību, bet tas iemesls, kāpēc mēs fokusējāmies uz šo teritoriju, ir skaidri šeit redzams. Kā augšējā attēlā jūs redziet, atbrauc turistu autobus, un viņi vienkārši dodās cauri parkam, apskatās Siguldas Livonijas ordeņu pili, pēc tam safotografējās, iekāpa autobusā un dodas prom. Bet mums, un tas ir apmēram 10 līdz 20 minūšu ilgs laiks, bet mums ir vajadzīgs viņus paturēt ilgāk. Un kā paturēt? Patiesībā dodot iespēju iedzīvotājiem realizēt savus talantus un savas ieceres, un tātad apakšējā attēlā jau redzams, ka mums ir jāattīsta šī pils teritorija, un šobrīd jau tas notiek. Tātad mēs jau rekonstruējam bijušo staļļa māju, kas viņa ir vēsturiski bijis, savulaik viņa bijis arī ekskursantu nams, un tur mēs plānojam nākamajā gadā atvērt radošās uzņēmē darbības centru. Un tāpat kā Cēs, mēs piedaloties šajā brigādes konkursā, radām iespēju atbalstu 5 idejām, mums bija pieteikts 11, un par dažām es pastāstīšu. Fantastiskā iniciatīva, mākslas, jeb radošā darbnīca Viktora vēstules, kas ir balstīta uz leģendu par Turēdas rozi. Par Turēdas rozi droši vien daudzi zina, leģenda ir vairāk kā 400 gadus sena, bet viņas mīļotais Viktors dzīvoja Gaujas šajā krastā. Viņš bija Siguldas muižu dārznieks, un Viktors sūtīja viņai brīnišķīgas vēstules, un māksliniece Zinaīda Ceska kopā ar vēsturnieci Ievu Vītolu ir radījuši šo brīnišķīgo projektu Viktora vēstules, kur ne tikai top mākslas darbi no papīra otrreizējās pārstrādes, bet ir iespējas arī iedzīvotājiem zaļajās ceturtdienās nākt un tur pašiem izliet no papīra brīnišķīgas lietas. Un apakšējā attēlā jūs redziet, ir arī pat lietas, kuras var pārdot. Tie ir fantastiski auskari, pastkartes, varat uzrakstīt vēstuli un nosūtīt kādam sev tuvam un mīļam cilvēkam uz jebkuru pasaules valsti. Tad vēl viens brīnišķīgs projekts, kas nav attīstīts šajā pils kompleksā, bet pie kura Siguldas novads darbojās jau vairākus gadus. Mums ir tāda biedrība ar invaliditāti bērniem Cerību spārni. Un Cerību spārni jau vairākus gadus ir vēlējušies izveidot tādu brīnišķīgu sētu, kurā šiem cilvēkiem dzīvot, kurā viņiem augt un mācīties dažādas prasmes dzīvē. Un kā tas notiek, tātad šobrīd ir atvērts veikaliņš Pogotava, kurā jebkurš var savas radītās lietas aiznest Tātad pārdodot un iegūstot naudiņu tiek novirzīti šai cerības ētai. Fantastiski kultūras un mākslas projekti, kultūras un mākslas telpa Siguldas tornis privāti, kas ir izveidota bijušajā ūdens tornī pie dzelzceļa stacijas, un pašvaldības uzdevums ir dot atbalstu, lai šī ēka ļoti aktīvi iekļautos, lai tur pulcētos cilvēku un rosinātos dažādiem mākslas procesiem. Un tad vēl nobeigumā viena fantastiska ideja, kuru var realizēt tik viens, tā ir tērzēšana. Ir jāatrod vienkārši laiks, satikties ar iedzīvotājiem kafejnīcā, kopā ar viņiem padzert kafiju, tātad iezīmējot, kā ceturtdienas vakaros tu vari jebkurš atnākt un kopā ar mani iedzert kafiju, apēst kūku un parunāties par to, ko tu gribētu ieviest šajā te pilsētas dzīvē. Olmabaigtūri jau vakardien Laura vienā no paneļiem stāstīja, kas arī ir fantastisks projekts, pensionāri ir gidi velotūrei, un ir vēl daudz ārkārtīgi interesantas lietas par skolēnu nodarbinātības projektu, kur mēs vasarā vairāk kā 30 000 pašvaldību iegulda naudu, lai varētu bērni strādāt pie uzņēmējiem. Patiesībā pašvaldības samaksā bērniem algu, lai uzņēmēji tikai šos bērnus nodarbina un lai viņi varētu nopirkt sev drēbes un mācību piedarumus skolai. Un ir fantastiski projekti, kur mēs rīkojot pasākumus domājam par tādām ilgspējīgām lietām, lai šie pasākumi, kurus mēs rīkojam, vienalga vai tie ir opera mūzikas svētki vai blūzas svētki, lai tie būtu videi draudzīgi. Un patiesībā jau tas viss, ko mēs darām ar vienu devīzi - Sigulda aizrauj. Un tāda tā dzīve arī Siguldā ir.
Thank you, Jolanta. And now the ones who live still in Riga, you might consider if this is the best place in Latvia to be, or you might change your living place. And from here, we continue to our next speaker. And when usually people like to show off what they have done and how great schools they have graduated and how many publications and which of these are CC publications and so on, then when you had the chance to look at his bio, then he started his introduction with the words, kicked out from 8 schools, entered 2 universities and quit both of them, no need. Left a professional athlete's career, doesn't work. Made a businessman, left career, it doesn't work. So probably he's the type of guy that I assume that most of Latvian girls would adore to run after him, but most of their moms hate him. Despite of the fact, if you hate or love him, he has succeeded to accomplish a lot. And he's representing the case study of Ghetto case, and I think he's kind of the example of the saying that the logic might take you from A to B, but imagination might take you everywhere. And so, Raimonds, the floor is yours, and tell how you succeeded with all this.
Sveiciens visiem! Tāda ļoti oficiāla gaisotne šodien. Tiešām liels prieks redzēt tik daudz zinātkārs cilvēkus, un es tiešām ceru, ka katrs no jums nākotnē izdarīs vismaz vienu labu darbu sabiedrībai, tā kā tas jau būs daudz. Es šodien sagatavoju diezgan labu mājas darbu, lai nebūtu baigi daudz jārunā un tā tālāk. Beigās, ja būs jautājumi, tad es noteikti pastāstīšu. Tad sāksim ar video, 6 minūtes, un tad mēs tālāk, es tur vēl 3 vārdus piemetīšu klāt.
There are thousands of run-down and disregarded territories, the so-called ghetto, with high unemployment rates, increased criminality, and their own street rules. It's a place where young people admire gangsters and drug addicts more than local authorities. There is a lack of confidence in the future, but as we see it, it's necessary to cure this virus. In the following presentation, we want to show our experience, which may be useful for you. The global economic crisis hit Latvia very hard. The Ghetto Games movement started at the lowest point of the crisis in 2009 in one of the socially most neglected neighborhoods in Riga, Regeneration. The level of social welfare was critical. Crime rates were high, a typical ghetto. It is very easy to go astray in such conditions, especially for young people without possibilities of work, aims, and low life values. This is a time when the upset youth and their minds can be saved by sport. Democratic sport, not asking for big investment. Street basketball, street workout, street football, street dancing, and other kinds of street sport and culture. The name Ghetto, aggressive image, atmosphere, music, and contemporary kinds of sport of ghetto games attract young people, and when they pay attention and listen, it is possible to start to work. And it's the right time to start working with the causes, not the consequences. If the leaders of the movement and hosts of events are authorities, you can do wonders. It is possible to promote good values and develop the right qualities. The biggest jerks become the best friends. The shallow and lazy ones become the most considerate and diligent ones. The bad guys become the good guys. The elder and stronger ones help out the youngest and weakest ones. This is social and national integration. Ghetto Games is a platform for street sport and culture where young people can express themselves and use their energy, develop their personality and socialize, grow physically and mentally by becoming adults and creating a healthy society. Currently, Ghetto Games develop street sport, street dancing, music, art, video, volunteer work, event management. The main goal of Ghetto Games is to unite street youth, young people from risk areas and good families. The street kids will teach how to defend themselves, but people from good families will show how to solve life situations in a more human way. The task is to express values and to create positive emotions, to make them choose the right way, to dream, and to reach their aims by hard work. There is one unique thing about Ghetto Games team sports. There are no referees involved at street basketball, street football, and street floorball tournaments. As a result, the participants improve their moral standing, learning to solve any situation without referees and aggression. Teams respect each other, and many other good values appear. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghetto Games is something spectacular and extraordinary. It has become the biggest street sport and culture movement in Latvia, with more than 70 tournaments and events each summer. More than 10,000 young people participate in the competition regularly. More than 50,000 young people follow the ghetto activities regularly. No smoking, no alcohol at events, and no after-parties with drinking. It would have been just logical if this movement had been supported by public institutions, but we had to find resources ourselves. Since the very beginning, there is a symbolic participation fee, €1.5 per tournament. We organise commercial and commissioned events, Sprite Slam Dunk Contest, Ghetto Games Festival in Ventspils, 24-hour basketball tournament, Rally Read Latvian Bayer, and other events. We sell advertising space, which is difficult in Latvia because sponsors are not interested in street youth. We have opened the first cafe this year, called Ghetto Burger. We make branded t-shirts and merchandising, which is more like advertisement and prizes. We make high-quality videos for big brands, like Basketball Club, VEF, Red Bull, and Re-Auto Club. Currently, we have become powerful enough to start influencing the ghetto environment and processes. In 2013, we initiated the project I'm a Patriot of Regeneration, which unites the active local inhabitants to improve the surrounding environment and life conditions. Hard work for 5 years has finally paid off, and now public institutions listen to us, and it's possible that we will receive the first support from the government in 2014 to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Tur ir vēl 2 minūtes no superfināla, bet es domāju, to jūs nostīsieties mājās, par cik jūs esat ļoti iedvesmoti un priecīgi redzēt to. Tad patiesībā tas, ko es gribēju teikt, tas, ko mēs darām šajās 6 minūtēs, principā ir arī parādīts, bet kad es dzirdu vārdu tur sociāls biznes, tad patiesībā es īsti tā kā nesaprotu, kā tas īsti tur vēlkās viss kopā, biznesa, sociāls, bet droši vien, kad ņemot vērā te daudz speciālistu tajā, tad viņi to zina un viņi prot rakstīt smukas prezentācijas un veidot sociālu biznesu. Es to daru no sirds, man tas ir daudz vieglāk un es te tā pierakstīju vienkārši sev, ka sākumā ir ideja par to, ko tu gribi izdarīt. Tad tu sāc vienkārši darīt, tad tu sāc meklēt savus partnerus, tad tu meklē savus līdzdomātājus. Šobrīd Ghetto projektā ir iesaistīti 250 cilvēki, kas ir pašvaldību pārstāvi, rekursējuši Mārs, kas palīdz mums rakstīt Eiropas projektu. Šobrīd mums gan vēl nav izdevies nekur sasniegt baigo rezultātu, bet tas nekas, nākotnē droši vien mēs to noteikti izdarīsim. Un es runāju par pašvaldības cilvēkiem, par komandu, kas aktīvi ir iesaistījusies darbā, un tad ir vēl 250 brīvprātīgie, kas arī ir iesaistījušies šī projekta organizēšanā. Tuvākie mūsu mērķi ir attīstīt Ghetto aliansi, kas būs vairāk kā 20 Latvijas pilsētās. Šobrīd ir pieteikušies jaunieši no 30 pilsētām. Viss kārtībā, man vairāk arī nevajadzēs. Tā kā tas, ko es gribu pateikt, ja ir laba ideja un tiešām gribas izdarīt kaut ko sociāli labu vai pozitīvu, tad bieži vien atrodas pareizie cilvēki, kuri būs gatavi izdarīt to kopā ar jums. Un es vienmēr saku tā, ka muļķiem veicās, un kopš es sāku nodarboties ar Ghetto games, man arī sācis veikties. Tā kā es nezinu, ko domāt, vai es esmu muļķis, vai arī vienkārši labiem cilvēkiem veicās. Tā kā paldies jums liels un veiksmi jums sociālā biznesā.
Thank you, Raimonds, for such a great story again and for inspirational talk. And just recently, I remember that he said a couple of days ago to one of his colleagues that he has now reached the level of this luxury as manager that he is able to hire just the people. And how does the sentence end? Guess. Luxury to hire the people just who have what? Yeah, go more. Deep digger, dig into his style. More towards this one. Only the ones who has spark in their eyes. So, and who has ever worked on managerial position, we know how tough it is to get to this level. And from here, we go to the person who actually knows really the right answers, who knows what is the right source to take citation, who knows what is valid, how could it work, how should it work, what's the comparison here from other countries. And our next speaker is Brigita Baltača. And she is associate professor from School of Business and Finance. And what's interesting about her, that she has also 20 years hands-on experience in design, implementation, and guidance of cooperative credit union system. So maybe she's one of the few people who has actually seen real money, big money in her life. And she's not the one who kind of starts with slow steps, like when we in Estonia go to do hill skiing. And you know how hilly is Estonia, right? We have real, steep and big hills. The biggest one is 300 meters. And then we're already great if we can manage. But she's the one, when she wants to go to ski, she goes right away to Alps. And when she wants to hike, she goes right away to Himalaya. So that's how she is attacking the challenges in her life. And Brigita, please, floor is yours. And tell us about education partnership, unlocking their resources, as in your example, you have unlocked your resources. Thank you.
Hello to everyone, and really big thanks to organizers of this panel in particular, because you understand how challenging it is to talk about the role of education. and formal education as a partner in social entrepreneurship after Raimonds' inspirational presentation. And the fact that we have been seated next to each other is also a good example how it works. So it's not what to do, as it was said yesterday, but it's more about how to do and why you do it. I'm not going to talk a lot about our school because our deeds talk better than words. You see our logo on official informational leaflets of this venue, and it's another example of partnership. Have a look how many organizations have been involved in organization of this forum. You see business administration students working as volunteers and helping organizers. So that is another example how we implement and how we find and how we develop partnerships and how we benefit from partnerships. Well, I would say that in a way my story is similar to Raimonds. I started doing nearly 20 years ago something that at that point I was thinking that it is good for the community where I was living, it is good for the country I was living. It means I assisted development of savings and credit unions in Latvia. At that time it was the only way to organize financial services for people who have been excluded from the so-called mainstream banking. By doing so, I somehow came to the conclusion that with having proper skills and knowledge, I would have done lots of things, maybe not better, at the same time, for sure, faster. So if I may say so, European Union uses such terms as world of work and world of education. So I shifted from the so-called world of work to world of education. At the same time, I apply lots of skills and knowledge from the world of work into the world of education. That's why I would like to talk today about how a formal education institution could be a partner. We have heard lots and lots of words like the key factor is the human factor. Social business is about extraordinary characters. Social business is about finding the right people. So where do we find those right people? I got inspired yesterday from the performance we attended. There was lots of mathematics, and I did mathematics in our school on bachelor's level. We, faculty members, are obliged to spend 800 hours per academic year, the so-called contact hours. It means 800 hours within a year we have access to the bright, young, capable minds. Is this the place where we can do what yesterday again was mentioned here, to influence the mindset? To influence the mindset, those willing young people who study business, that they look at the business from a different point of view. In order to do so, one of the ways is also to ask people whose minds you want to influence, whether they want to look on business from a different point of view or not. And that's why within 2 years we are conducting a survey of our students at our school, just to see how or whether young people are interested in combining the business knowledge, the business management knowledge, and apply it to resolving social issues or the issues that the whole society, whatever we mean by society, the local community or national level society, will benefit. And that's why I would like today to share the results of the survey. The first question is, and this was done before the students were introduced in an academically acceptable way to the concept what is social entrepreneurship. And to our surprise, you see that most answers have very precisely reflected their proper understanding of what social business is. It means that it's not profit-driven, but it is something about resolving socially important problems. That's the answer to yesterday's question in our session. Was it from the above, or was it a students-driven demand to face these issues? What area students see that it's most important in the social entrepreneurship direction? Of course, employment and training. Employment and training, training is another reason why we need to look at any kind of educational institutions as a partner, and employment is also a very good thing because it's about people earning their living themselves, not becoming just recipients of some social benefit, wanting to do change and to earn living for themselves. Is there enough information? And this is the situation about Latvia. You see 70% of answers is no. There is not enough information. It means in general in the society there is not proper understanding of what is it, how we should benefit or how we could benefit. Another serious question is, do I see a career opportunity in a social enterprise? 32% say yes, 18% definitely no, the rest still don't know. It was also asked the question, it's not reflected the answer here, whether I'm interested in starting a social enterprise. And it was close. It was about 20% said yes, and the rest, most of them said don't know. So it's already good, very few said no. And here is just again about mindset, maybe. It's interesting that when talking individually to students, very many of them said that they started thinking about the social side or a different face of or human face of business after coming back from Erasmus mobility exchange. It means it was not, unfortunately, it wasn't in Latvia when they got familiarized with this concept. It means there is something that we are still not doing enough here. We can have lots of excuses and reasons. The fact remains the same. We haven't succeeded in making society aware about social entrepreneurship. That's why this last slide includes this year we also interviewed students who are on this exchange program in our school, and you see the difference. Foreign students say that I see business model as the future model, social entrepreneurship. 53% say yes. Here in Latvia, only 27% say yes. That's why conclusion that we made at our school is that business students in Latvia are aware of the social entrepreneurship concept with all the benefits to society and why it's also beneficial for an individual to get involved in it. At the same time, there is very little information, and that creates lots of obstacles. Public administration doesn't understand properly. Other institutions don't understand. Individuals look with suspicion, maybe because of the word social. And that could be one of the reasons that at the moment there are less young people who see social entrepreneurship as a career choice that we would like as a society. And that is, I tried to be very disciplined. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brigita, once more. And now I will give a short chance, maybe 30 seconds, for kind of reflecting to each other presentation kind of one central idea or question or kind of comment you would like to kind of share about the other presentation, and maybe we start with Phil shortly and we could just continue in the row of presenters and really short, and then I would like to jump to the audience. Mm-hmm.
I have to say I was impressed with your video presentation and the Ghetto games. And one of the things, working with young people in the youth environment myself, that sparked in my mind is the opportunity possibly to export this model elsewhere, particularly in the Baltic region. Is that something you've thought about?
Tulkos kāds vai netulkos, vai man mēģināt atbildēt Dānis? Restīvi, mēs šo video vispār gatavojām priekš Eiropas valstīm, kurās ir pilsētas lielāks par 1 miljonu, kur ir šīs nelabvēlīgās apkaimes. Un tā ideja bija ieviest šo Ghetto Games projektu arī citās valstīs, bet aizbraucot uz Barcelonu uz vienu tādu palielu konferenci, ko organizēja ISKA, mēs sapratām to, ka diemžēl nav tik norauti jumti šajā pasaulē, kurš būtu gatavs dienu un nakti strādāt pie tā, lai iesaistītu 15 sporta veidus un veidotu visas tās aktivitātes, kas ir ap to, tāpēc mēs nolēmām izveidot Latviju kā tuvākajos 5 gados sadarbībā gan ar Rīgas pilsētu, gan ar Ventspili, gan ar tādām advancētākajām pilsētām, izveidot tomēr Latviju kā ļoti spēcīgu valsti šajos alternatīvajos sporta veidos un vedot uz šejieni gan sportistus, gan arī potenciālos varbūt šos biznesa partnerus, tad arī iepazīstināt ar šo projektu, jo tā no vienas prezentācijas principā ir ļoti grūti iedot sajūtu par to, kas īsti ir Ghetto Games Latvijā.
Mm-hmm. You had your word, Jolanta, maybe any comments if you want to make to each other presentation. If not, we just move.
Es gribēju pateikt paldies Brigitai, bet es gribēju rosināt arī to, ka šis patiesībā nav tikai uzdevums runāt ar studentiem vai izglītot studentus. Patiesībā šis ir arī uzdevums izglītot pašvaldības speciālistus, jo gatavojoties arī šim fórumam, patiesībā ļoti daudz lietas, kas ir pašiem jālasa, jāsaprot un jāizzina, un daudz lietas, kuras mēs ikdienā darām, mēs arī nesaistam, ka tās ir tieši ar sociālo uzņēmēju darbību saistītas. Tā kā arī priekš pašvaldības speciālistiem ir ļoti daudz vajadzīgs.
I also wanted to say that every one of us here really represented that there is a possibility to contribute to the social entrepreneurship from whatever institution we represent. All the cases we have heard here show how diverse is this social entrepreneurship field, and that's why it's very, very hard to write one manual. There should, again, I would like to come back again to this human factor. If there is a will, there is a way, is a very good saying. It means whenever we want to do something related to social entrepreneurship, whatever organization we represent, whatever job we have within the organization, we can do it. Even if we don't have organization, like in Raimonds' case, you can do a lot on your individual level and create the environment. He has created environment, something that has been related to also in thesis, speaking about thesis. It means we can even do a lot, not belonging to any organization.
And now you, as audience, can do a lot while choosing among or from these millions of questions you have in your mind, just around 10 that we would like to hear, and our presenters would like to correspond or answer. So please, floor is yours. Yes, please, Lee.
I have a question about branding. Raimondam, kad jūs lietojat šo iedzienu Ghetto Games, vārdam Ghetto ir iekodēta iekšā negatīva attieksme, bišķiņa agresivitāte un kaut kas ir atstumts no vienas puses. Bet no otrās puses varbūt jums piesaistot tos cilvēkus, ko jūs gribat piesaistīt, jūs negribat pateikt, ka šeit ir kaut kas smuks, balts, roza un pūkains. Tātad, kāds ir jūsu viedoklis par šo jēdzienu geto izmantošanu, lai panāktu to, ko jūs vēlaties panākt?
Patiesībā jūs jau atbildējāt uz šo jautājumu. Un jaunatnē, ja es jaunatnē teikšu, ka tur ir oranžās bumbas pulciņš, vai es teikšu, ka tur ir kaut kāds zilo puķīšus, tur sajiets, vai vēl kaut kas, es šaubos, vai es spēšu viņus uzrunāt. Un patiesībā tas dzīme no Ghetto basketa, tad bija tikai Ghetto games un tā. Tāpēc agresīva uzruna konkrētai grupai, restīvi tie ir šie ielu bērni, tie ir tie jaunieši, kuri tomēr ir aktīvi. Un, nu jā, es tā kā atbildu, es varētu stāstīt, bet ideja tāda, ka tas viss sākās pavisam netīšām. Man uzdeva vienkārši jautājumu, kā mēs sauksim to, ko jūs darat ceturtdienās. Un es vienkārši atbildēju, es paskatījos apkārt uz prostitūtiem un uz vispārējo, kas notiek tajā rajonā. Un es tā arī pateicu, tas sauksies Ghetto basket. Un es ļoti tā kā ticu tradīcijām un tajā, kas nāk no sirds, es ļoti ticu tam. Un tāpēc, kāpēc mainīt nosaukumu, ja es domāju, tas paliks arī jūsu atmiņā uz visiem laikiem. Un pavisam vienkārši prostitūts, Ghetto, apkaime. Bet šobrīd tas ir viens no pozitīvākajiem zīmoliem Latvijā. Tā kā, nu tā. Es atbildēju.
Thank you. Question from the lady, and then from gentleman, and this gentleman, and this lady. So lady, gentleman, lady.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for your wonderful presentations today. I have a question to each of you here. Okay, each of the panelists, please. So what are the biggest challenges for you right now as a researcher, as someone who runs a social business, and how you guys plan to overcome? So what are these challenges and what do you do? Like the in the next year or so.
Thank you. And now I'm using my position with power, and I'm telling that we call the 4 questions now, and then I will give the chance to answer. So microphone. Here as well.
Well, thank you for a wonderful panel and wonderful moderation. I wanted to ask about the international context. Coming from a very small country, from Israel, I know that learning what other people do in other parts of the world is crucial to our success as academics, as entrepreneurs, and as whatever. And what I think I didn't hear in the presentations, and maybe because of the short time or because of my bad hearing, is how do you learn from the experience or from the mistakes or successes of other people around the world, or whether you would like to be connected to a network or a chain or any kind of platform of people doing similar things in other parts of the world. Thank you.
Mans jautājums ir tieši Raimondam. Pirmkārt, es gribu pateikt paldies, ko tu esi izdarījis urbānās sporta kultūras vārdā, un tas, kas notiek ielās, ļoti, ļoti labi. Pat tas bija Ghetto games. Bet jautājums ir tāds, kāds bija jūsu atbalsts no pilsētas un no valsts pirmajos gados, un kāds tas ir šobrīd?
I would like to have a comment on the question which Phil gave to Raimonds about this situation about going abroad. Is the same that I think the social entrepreneurship is something that you can copy. If the business is something that you do and you don't allow to copy, then if you do something in social with one target and ideology, then you can copy it. So, but if you want to copy, the easiest way is to share a good examples about this question from abroad, and I suppose that if you want to copy Ghetto games, the easiest way how to do is to call the Raimonds and ask how you did it, and I suppose that Raimonds will tell you, okay, this is for free, and this is our ideas, yes, and that's how it's going on, but the social ideology is something that you can copy everywhere, and if you wanted to do it in Corby, then it's easily done.
Thank you. And then we'll proceed this way, but ladies will give the answers from your side, and since you both had 2 questions or even more, then you can come later. So maybe you already start.
Challenge at the moment, yeah. As I
Tas lielākais izaicinājums droši vien, kad ir saistīts arī ar 2014. gadu, bet mēs esam šobrīd pirmā un vienīgā pilsēta Latvijā, kura realizē saucamo nulles politiku, nulles ietekmes politiku no pasākumiem. Un šeit ir ārkārtīgi liels darbs no tādā domāšanas maiņā sabiedrībai, kādus paradumus viņi lieto, un šeit ir arī ļoti daudz iespējas attīstīt dažādas iniciatīvas, kas var palīdzēt šo lietu darīt. Un tā kā tas ir tāds ārkārtīgi liels izaicinājums. Un bez šaubām jau manis prezentētais pils kompleks, kur mēs gribam, lai iedzīvotāji tur nodarbinātos, lai tas, ko viņi dara, ir noderīgs tām turistu plūsmām, kas tur nav.
Thank you.
Okay. In terms of the challenges for the next 12 months for us at Adrenalin Alley, it's consolidating what we started, 2 years ago really. In fact, went back further still. When we moved into the indoor facility, the founder said to me, we need to expand. In 3 to 4 years, we're going to be full. So we already started thinking about the strategy moving forward. So just this summer, we completed the entire development, 2.4 hectares, over 5,000 square meters of indoor facility. Now we have to manage that and consolidate what we've achieved. A lot of it was a crazy idea, and it happened very quickly. As a business, we nearly fell over, we nearly collapsed because we were trying to manage this growth, and now it's really about trying to consolidate and not get focused on core business and not get involved in any other schemes and wheezes and activities that will divert attention elsewhere, because we're at a very critical stage of the business.
Maybe you reflect all the questions.
Yes. Okay. In terms of the kind of the international context that you raised, when the founder started 10 years ago, I met her in 2004 or 5 or something like that. We looked at the horizon, certainly what was going on in the UK. There was nothing of any kind of scale that we thought was of merit. We had an idea of what the model was going to be, which was a social enterprise model, a charitable company limited by guarantee. We looked at what was going on in the US. There's a facility there called Woodward, but it's a privately run facility. It's based on the US concept of summer camps. It's a multi-million-dollar operation. It's massive. It's fantastic. So rather than looking at some of the more community-based initiatives in the UK, we thought that's what we were wanting, where we were pitching ourselves at. Luckily, some of the board members had been to Woodward, so we'd been able to get a sense of what was achievable, but we interpreted that to our own model. There was your point around sort of the copying side and the question that I'd had to Raimonds. There's a discussion that's been going on in the UK for years around kind of replication, diffusion of ideas, diffusion of innovation, more formally kind of franchising and social franchising. It can be simple as copying the idea, because it's a great concept and a great idea, to something more formal, which is, hey Raimonds, can you put your business in a box, can you formalise it, and I'll buy that from you with the branding, and then deliver something locally myself. So there's a kind of a spectrum and a continuum there, but that's probably another conference altogether.
Thank you. Raimonds, your remarks.
Man teica, uz jautājumiem jāatbild, kuriem tieši? Par lielākajiem challengeiem maniem. Šobrīd īstenībā ir situācija pavisam vienkārši, ka mēs esam pārauguši visus iespējamos Latvijas šokolādīšu, čipšu un pārējos mārketingus, un mums ir jāspēj mārketinga naudas, un mums ir jāspēj piesaistīt daudz lielāks budžets. Nākamā gada plānotais budžets ir ap 1 miljonu eiro. Pagājušā gadā tas bija 2 reizes mazāks, un jāteic, ka šobrīd notiek milzīga cīņa ar pašvaldībām, ar ministriju, bet pat ne cīņa, bet to pat nevar nosaukt par cīņu. Tas tiešām tā arī ir, ka tas ir challenge iet, stāstīt, rādīt, pārliecināt, kutināt, glaudīt un tā tālāk un tā joprojām. Tas ir ļoti sarežģīts process, kurā es tiešām neesmu tāds liels speciālists šobrīd. Vienkārši es nonācu līdz tam, ka vai nu mēs paliekam tur, kur mēs šobrīd esam, tā pa lielam. Vai nu tad mēs atrodam kopīgu valodu un pārliecinam par šo te nozīmi, šī projekta nozīmi tādā valsts mērogā, un jo šobrīd nav instrumenti, kā piešķirt mums finansējumu ne no ministrijas, ne no arī pašvaldībām. Līdz ar to, atbildot uzreiz uz nākamo jautājumu par finansējumu, tad ir tā, ka pagājušajā gadā no Rīgas domas mēs prasījām 25 000 līdzfinansējumus, iedot 3, un savukārt mēs vēl laikam kāds 20 000 mēs sarakstījām no 7 biedrībām, sarakstījām projektus, kurā katrā arī tur attiecīgi vēl pa kaut kādiem 3 000 dabījām. Lai apgūtu šos līdzekļus, mēs iztērējām 7 000. Tā kā līdz projektam mēs spējām novirzīt, attiecīgi, ja bija 22, tad 3, tur sanāk, tātad 2/3, un savukārt vēl mēs pazaudējām to laiku, ar kuru mēs it kā varējām strādāt pie projekta, bet mēs nodarbojamies ar papīrīšu rakstīšanu, kārtošanu, tā tālāk un tā joprojām. Šobrīd liels izaicinājums, protams, ir šī finanšu piesaiste, bet vēl lielāks vēl joprojām ir strādāt pie produktu un cīnīties par to, lai katrā miestā mēs atrastu veidu, kā komunicēt ar jauniešiem. Tas ir izmantojot gan sociālos tīklus, gan izmantojot tāpatās arī mēdīju, arī lokālo mazo mēdīju palīdzību. Jo tikai tad, kad būs iesaistīts ik katrs, tad mēs varēsim runāt nacionālā mērogā. Šobrīd mēs varam tur bļaustīties no grīziņa kalna, bet pa lielam tas šaubos vai nesīs tik lielu, teiksim, jēgu, kā tas varētu nest tad, ja mēs tiešām apzināsim visus, apsēdīsimies pie viena galda un vienosimies par saviem mērķiem.
Thank you. And since we are now 8 minutes over lunch break already, I'm using my Estonian politeness and asking, does any of you have really such a burning question that can't be waited to be asked during lunch break? If not, and we found a common ground, then I first would like to thank your organizers, then our panelists, and Renew, and since many of us are staying in Elbakjans hotels, and one thing I have learned in academia is you don't have your own ideas and borrow from others. And one of the statements that is printed on our hotel, and that seems to be finished concerning how to make partnership work in urban context, is then from Albert Einstein, and it sounds as following. Everything must be made as simple as possible